In a move which doesn't surprise me one bit considering that this is in his character as well as part of his platform since 2016, President Donald Trump last Wednesday issued an executive order temporarily suspending the approval of green cards into the United States. This executive order, according to President Donald Trump, is meant to protect American workers as well as allow American citizens to be first in line to acquire a job once the economy opens. And in all honesty, I support this move. This is something that the American economy desperately needs, to have its citizens be put to work. Already, not only is the economy stalled, thanks to the coronavirus situation, but there is already rising unemployment as a result. It is severely bad, and this suspension of green cards in the United States is definitely one of the things that is needed for the American people to recover and hopefully get the economy back on track. And honestly, I hope the economy reopens soon because it's definitely America desperately needs it at this point. Now, there are a few exceptions to this rule. Of course, like say people with temporary visas or people with green card status already living here in the United States, or even people that are required in specific fields are needed, such as nurses, doctors, healthcare professionals of all kinds that are needed in the United States. Which again, it makes sense with the current coronavirus pandemic we have here in the U.S. And here's another thing. This executive order is intended to last for a period of 60 days. Within that 60 days, that's when potentially, in theory, when the executive order will end, of course. But a lot of people are thinking that that Donald Trump could potentially extend this suspension for another 30 days. Donald Trump actually, when asked about this, actually said specifically that if the economy is still doing bad and unemployment is still bad as a result here in the United States, then that may be a potential choice that he may make. So that's it all depends on the economy once the United States reopens for business, and I hope I hope thanks to this executive order that the American people will get back to work. Because again, it's really bad at this point. But of course, the Democrats decided to come in and blast the whole entire situation because of course they do. They actually said that this move made by President Trump is a total distraction. In fact, they say it's not only a distraction, it is racist. Even Joe Biden, which honestly I'm not really surprised at this point, because considering that he's a Democratic presidential candidate, as well as the main figure against President Donald Trump, and it constantly jabs against him. He actually goes on further to say that Donald Trump is tweeting incendiary rhetoric about immigrants in the hopes that he can distract everyone from the core truth. He's moved too slowly to contain this virus, and we are all paying the price for it. That's according to what Biden said here on Reuters.com. And I will be linking that article in the description below if you guys like to check that out. Which, again, it's kind of funny how Joe Biden actually explains this, how this is just simply a way for Donald Trump to distract the American public. Honestly, that's not the way I see it at all. How I view this is how I view this. President Donald Trump is trying to protect American workers and get the American economy back on track. Because this whole entire lockdown situation is, again, it's affecting Americans badly. And a lot of Americans just want to get back to work and actually do something as a result. They don't like the idea of staying in their homes. I don't either. 2, Joe Biden. This is kind of hypocritical of him because earlier he actually when referring to the travel ban against China, mainland China, he actually called Donald Trump xenophobic for just a specific reason. even though Donald Trump used a travel ban to prevent the spread of the coronavirus in the United States in the first place. Now, of course, the coronavirus still came into the United States, but nonetheless, the fact that Joe Biden is going this far in order to try to discredit President Donald Trump is just laughable at this point. Honestly, it doesn't really surprise me, especially since Democrats try to consistently try to oppose Donald Trump no matter what. And this is just no exception whatsoever. And you know what the funny thing is about this entire situation? Most Americans actually agree with President Trump and this decision. In fact, according to a US-based Ipsos poll, there was a poll that showed 79% of Americans actually wanted this policy to occur. 79% wanted this policy wanted to limit legal immigration here in the United States due to the whole closing of the economy and to get back to work. Think about that for a second. 79%. Already, the Democrats are in the losing argument at this point. Just from the poll alone. And let's not forget the whole issue, like I said before at the very beginning, of how badly unemployment is. Over 20 million people have been affected as a result of the coronavirus. 20 million people are unemployed as a result of the coronavirus. And I bet that they would prefer to honestly get out of their houses and do some work as a result. But again, I'm not surprised from how the Democratic Party is just responding, how Donald Trump is, how they continue to try to attack Donald Trump for being xenophobic, even though, in all honesty, from what I've been seeing in terms of with this executive order, it's meant to protect American civilians and as well as allow them to acquire jobs. Again, so funny, and it's especially funny when one of their own representatives, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, actually called for a work boycott as a result with a future announcement of reopening the American economy, saying that that working does not give the American people liberation. I don't know, but at this point, I do not understand how Democrats could be against the president of the United States, especially with this executive order. Because right now he's trying to protect American workers as well as American citizens, and trying to restart the American economy. Not really surprised. Although, considering that this is an election year and President Donald Trump has been known to be an economically focused president, the Democrats want to potentially try to wreck his chances with that and try to extend the whole lockdown further. At least that's just from my opinion. I would not be surprised if that's the case, especially with how Democrats have been acting throughout his entire term. I would not be surprised. But in all honesty, with the fact with the USA Today Ipsos poll showing that 79% of Americans actually want this policy, this is actually turning out to be a losing argument. And it's just only further trapping them as a result. That's how I see it. In all honesty, President Trump will not only get the executive order issued, well, he's already issued said executive order, but he will win the American public's opinion. He will win it because he has their interest in mind to restart this economy, to get them to earn money, to get them to have paychecks again. That is something that he will get, and something that the Democrats will lose, and it's kind of ironic since the Democratic Party has proudly proclaimed itself as the party of the American worker. Again, pretty funny. Just with the issue of the executive order alone, he's managed to turn the Democrats against the American workers. And in all honesty, that just spells doom for the Democrats overall. Not only will President Donald Trump, in my opinion, potentially succeed in restoring the American economy, but he further wins public opinion within the United States. That's how I think this entire situation is going to go, and only the Democrats, considering that they are actively opposed to this executive order, are only going to suffer as a result. My name is Nomi, here on The Arc Truth. Please post your comments down below, like this video, subscribe, and share with your friends. Also, if you have any issues regarding my videos, such as how I framed them, how I speak, what to improve upon, or other subjects you want me to talk about, please post them down in the comment section down below, or directly message me. Thank you.